In other news, an elderly Filipina, or Lola as we call here in the Philippines, was randomly attacked in a San Diego trolley. According to ABC 10 News, the suspect, an unidentified man, allegedly punched the woman for no apparent reason. Nearby witnesses helped the woman report the incident to the police. She was treated at a local hospital. However, no arrest has been reported. Earlier, we were able to talk to Joanne Fields, a community advocate and director of the Filipino Resource Center, and she discussed the current race situation in the U.S. Watch this.
Attacks. And we believe it stems from the previous president because of continued remarks of calling the coronavirus the Chinese virus and implicating that Asians are the reason why this virus has spread. And so we believe the attack that the news reports that we received in the community, an 80-year-old Lola was attacked on the trolley. She entered the trolley in southeastern San Diego, where there is a large Filipino community. And we heard that unprovoked, a man attacked her on the trolley, hit her on the head. And witnesses saw her and tended to her and helped her file the report. And now we need a place like the Resource Center so that when an incident like this, we can advocate for our Lola. Now we can advocate in the community to be vigilant, to be aware that this is happening, like what we're seeing throughout the whole United States. We've heard of the incidents in New York City where a Filipino man was slashed across his face when he was riding the train. These incidents need to be reported. More importantly, we need to increase the awareness of how to protect ourselves, whether it is while you're commuting or also to protecting yourself against COVID-19. And again, COVID-19 just magnified what we don't have in the Filipino community. And that's why we have a group of Filipino community stakeholders that feel the same way. And so we are now collaborating together so that we have a resource center to give correct information and more importantly, connections to the programs and services so that our community can thrive.
What do you believe is fueling these attacks?
Again, the previous administration making racist remarks that this is a Chinese virus, and just continuing that rhetoric, we believe just add fuel to the fire, that we had to be the scapegoat. And then the reaction for those that follow that message is who's attacking our community. So we need to, again, remain vigilant and be aware of our surroundings. And thank you for the opportunity to be on your show so that we can spread this information. Because if it's happening in San Diego, we know there's reports happening in the Bay, in New York, in Chicago, in very large Filipino communities. But I'm sure there's reports internationally. And we need to, again, remain vigilant.
And we can see that this administration is really very sympathetic to human rights issues. Do you think what triggered President Biden rather to raise the concern early on in his administration, and what government units are directly working with groups like yours in addressing racially induced hate crimes?
Well, I think the fact that he's listening to his constituency, not only here in San Diego, but throughout the United States, we are pleading for help. And I believe he is listening to that. We need disaggregated data so that we can learn if we are actually moving the needle. Are we moving in the direction that we need to? Are we able to access resources like the vaccine to testing and treatment? Here in San Diego, we are working with the county Health and Human Services Agency. We're working with our local municipalities, our mayors, our County Board of Supervisors, our State Assembly and Congress, all levels of government. And it has to start from the top. So starting with President Biden, recognizing the Filipino and Asian Pacific Islander community is very important. Again, we need to make sure from the top down that we know that we are in the community, that we are afforded the programs and services on all levels, but also that there's a cultural competency, that the outreach to make sure that we know where to get testing so that we feel comfortable to go get tested, to get the vaccine. A lot of our healthcare workers, in some instances, we are nearly 40% of the workforce in healthcare, whether it's in a skilled nursing facility, a home care, or in the hospital. We have a large Filipino workforce. So when we hear that, not only are we asking for services as a patient, but also to protect the frontliners that are out front. And I believe with this administration, we're obtaining more support, that it is recognized that COVID-19 is a real virus, and that our community needs the help. And I believe it's coming, and it's here. So now, again, we have to just remain vigilant and voice ourselves. Mm-hmm. So again, that's how the Filipino Resource Center evolved and came about, because we saw that we were lacking support. Now it's coming in because we have a point organization, we have community stakeholders involved, and we're moving in the right direction.
Going forward, how do you see the future of race relations there in the United States?
Well, I can speak to San Diego specifically. Mm-hmm. Just yesterday, there was an appointment to a newly formed Office of Race and Inclusion in the County of San Diego. Again, that's a step in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Andrew Strong was named the director, but he is very well connected in the Filipino and Asian Pacific Islander community. So it's really promising. Not only are they naming an office, but they're also creating a budget so that we can have outreach and education and also language access. So we really look forward to offices like this, programs, and point people that look like us in the community to close the gaps of service.
Thank you very much. This is a continuing issue in the United States, not only in the United States, because it has, as you said, has already spread around the world in different countries. And thank you for groups like yours, which are looking after which are steadfastly on guard, looking after the incidents of anti-Asian prejudice and hate crimes. Thank you very much. Joan Fields, Director of Filipino Resource Center. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alma.